and we will be opening a facility there on 3.7 acres with several buildings already there that we'll take over, and that will be almost a mirror to what's going on in the Philippines. And we, as I say, we've already used that campus, but we're going to have complete control of the campus. So that'll be exciting. Yeah. Then in Brazil, we have found an entrepreneur, former mission president, an entrepreneur in Brazil who has 1,200 English schools in Brazil and moving to start in China and several other countries. He's going to run the academy in Brazil. It's already started. We have the first group of 20 returned missionaries in Brazil, and that will grow. I would suspect that we'll be doing about 1,000 a year returned missionaries between those three locations. So that's sort of a brick and mortar type operation. But then in all these other countries, we've written 5 volumes called Where There Are No Jobs. The latest one was Creating Family Prosperity. That's the kind of prosperity promised in the Book of Mormon, which says that if you keep my commandments, you'll prosper in the land. And so that curriculum has been taught in 10 different countries, from Congo, Ethiopia, Honduras, Peru, Guatemala. I don't know if I mentioned the Congo, South Africa. So the curriculum is being used, and so we're going to be growing 2 things at the same time, the brick and mortar, but also the dissemination of the curriculum.
Oh, that's tremendous.
Thank you.
That is really exciting.
It is, thank you. And it's really exciting for us.
Oh, that's great.
I understand that your wife Betty co-founded the Academy. Has she always been a significant help in your entrepreneurial pursuits, including Barclays and as well as...
Well, yes and no. She's always been a great help in raising our family. And as you know, as an entrepreneur yourself, that you have to divide up certain roles. So she worked really hard in that area, especially when the children were young. I do better with teenagers. And so I went to work every day, actually 5.5 days a week, and she took care of the home. But we really co-founded the Academy. I appreciate you mentioning that, because she moved to the Philippines with me, which was a great help. But then as I stood up and sort of off the cuff taught classes, I hate to say that we didn't have some planning, but it was off the cuff. She took a lot of notes, and from all those notes, she put together lesson plans, and from those lesson plans, put together 3 out of the 5 volumes of Where There Are No Jobs. And so they're using those same lesson plans today in Mexico and Brazil and also in the Philippines. And plus, she is a technician by nature, and I'm an entrepreneur. So I found this great building and rented this great building where the students also live in the building. I kind of felt I was done, and she reminded me there were no beds, no towels, no kitchen utensils, no tables, no chairs, no desks, no blackboards, no toilet paper, you know, just on and on. And so together we went out and bought those. But they're using those same things, some of those same things, 10 years later. So she played a real important role in the beginning of the Academy.
Great.
She still serves on the advisory board, but she's discovered the value of grandchildren, and she's spending a lot of time with our grandchildren.
Wonderful.
Many would describe your change from being the quintessential entrepreneur to now, in working with the Academy, has been, they've described it as being dramatic. You were closing deals and investing in some of the greatest startups, you know, in the United States. What brought about this change?
I think age is a great maturing device. That's part of it. I think generally Latter-day Saints who have made the same commitments that I've made realize that money is a small part of success, and when they are successful financially, that the opulent lifestyle that other successful people live sometimes loses its attraction for Latter-day Saints, if there ever was an attraction. I think, for example, multimillionaires in our faith probably have less drivers, less limos, less wait servants, and on and on and on.
No doubt.
So how are you going to use the money? After you have sufficient for your needs, then what are you going to do? Are you going to give it to your children and ruin that next generation and then they can give it to their children and ruin that next generation? Or do you find ways that you can impart of your substance to others through something like education? President Hinckley, of course, taught us that education is the key to opportunity, and I think the right kind of application applied is certainly the key to establishing enterprises that can continue the perpetual nature. And so I think educating return missionaries is where it's at, and so while I still feel driven to increase wealth because it's there, I think a better thing for me to use my time is teaching others how to create wealth. And when I talk about wealth in third world countries, and I talk about prosperity, prosperity to me in third world countries mean clean water, nutritious food, educational opportunities for your children, and sufficient shelter and medicines. So when we talk about taking Latter-day Saints from poverty to prosperity, which is what I want to be doing the rest of my life, I'm talking about not the number of cars they own, but the better way they can take care of their children. So I don't know if that answers it, but if I am kinder, it's just because I see that that's where real value is, taking care of the poor, the needy, the widows and fatherless.
That's wonderful. Well, I would say you're living the quintessential Mormon entrepreneurial life today, that you have an opportunity to serve and to give back and to use your skills to be able to educate the next generation. I think it's tremendous.
Well, thank you. And, there are many others, both in our faith and within the Christian faith and non-Christian faith, that are doing many similar things.
It's absolutely true.
So,
That's wonderful.
But it is something I enjoy, and it's what I want to do. As long as I can speak and talk and walk,
That's
I want to
great.
be helping others.
Great.
Great. Any last advice you would like to give to the aspiring entrepreneurs of our community?
Yeah, thank you for asking. I would say number one, start early. I'm thrilled as I read about even high school students and junior high school students that are doing things entrepreneurial in nature, and so start early. In my classes at BYU, I'm really intent on them starting businesses. So start early, and if they're going to fail, that's okay. Don't lay down too long. Catch your breath and get up and try again. I think it was Bill Gates that said, success is a lousy teacher. And that's true. Success is great to have, but I think we learn our lessons from failures very much as from our successes. So number one, start early, do it often. Don't try to launch a 747, launch a Wright Brothers plane, but launch something. And if it crashes, it's not going to wipe out as many people. So so start small, think big, start often, start early.
Great. Tremendous.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you.